Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to MJ's Maths and Stats. That's MJ Magic Studio to you. I am Mohit Jain, your host, your dost, and always again in the ghost mode. Today, with the Morgan Stanley's online assessment, and during that assessment, few questions were asked from aptitude. Rather, 10 questions were asked from aptitude, with comprises of mathematics and reasoning. No verbal aptitude was there. They have given 20 minutes to solve those 10 questions, and questions were from actual basic mathematics, what we have learned in class 11 and 12. So let's get started now, and I'll give you some time to solve that question. First of all, a minute maybe so. Try it out in that particular time and then look out for the solution. Best wishes to everyone. Those who are like trying to sit for Morgan Stanley examination, this package is quite high. It's in the like bracket of 20 lakh something, and I'm grateful to our associated partners for this particular session, Ramchandra College of Engineering, Illuru in Andhra Pradesh. So best wishes to everyone once again. As said, Morgan Stanley's aptitude examination basically consists of questions from quants and reasoning. They have given 10 questions for which 20 minutes was provided, and there were no negative marks. Number one. Number two, you need to answer the question, and then only you would be allowed to move to the next questions. So each questions become compulsory. You can't come back to the question. Now, if I bifurcate these 10 questions, then 4 from pure mathematics, averages, progression, quadratic equations, 2 from data interpretation, 2 from verbal reasoning, and last 2 from abstract reasoning or small puzzle. So it counts to 6 and 4, 10. Let's see these questions one by one. All were asked on 24th June 2021 drive, and let's start now. If x, y, z are positive real numbers and x plus y plus z is 5, then which of the given options is true? While glancing through the option, I can see that all options are in the product form. And the very first thing that hit is, if few real positive numbers are given to us, then their arithmetic mean is always greater than equals to their geometric mean. And the extension to that is that will be greater than equals to their harmonic mean. Now if three numbers are there, arithmetic mean of three numbers are x plus y plus z by 3, and geometric mean of three number is cube root of product of the three numbers. Now if we use this, am is greater than equals to gm, then x plus y plus z by 3 should be greater than equals to cube root of x into y into z. Now cubing both sides, we'll get x plus y plus z whole cube. That is nothing but 5 cube. So 5 cube is 125 and 3 cube is 27 is greater than equals to xyz, or xyz is less than equals to 125 by 27, and that fits in option A. A geometric progression has sum to infinity 4. Let the first term of this progression be a, and the common ratio is r. Then sum to this infinity is given by a upon 1 minus r, known that mod r is less than 1. Now this is given as 4. The sum to infinity of the sum of the squares of the terms of the geometric progression is 6. That means a square plus a square r square plus a square r to the power 4 till infinity is equals to 6. Now here we know that this is also an GP series where the first term is a square and common ratio is r square. Then it would be a square upon 1 minus r square is equals to 6. Now what is the question? What is the first term of the geometric progression? We are looking out for the value of a. From here if we see a is 4 into 1 minus r, and here is a square equals 6 into 1 minus r square. So I can say 4 square is 16 into 1 minus r square equals 6 into 1 minus r square. 1 minus r cancel out with this. We would be left with 1 plus r, because 1 minus r square is 1 plus r into 1 minus r. 16 minus 16r equals 6 plus 6r. So 16 plus 6 is like 22r is equals to 16 minus 6 is 10. Therefore r equals 10 by 22, that is 5 by 11. Now we need to find the value of a. A is 4 into 1 minus r, that is 4 into 1 minus 5 by 11. 11 minus 5 is 6. 6 into 4 is 24. That will be 24 by 11, and that features in option A. A question from blood relations. How is Jack's son son. Parental grandmother. Parental grandmother means Jack's mother. How is this person related to Jack's father-in-law? For father-in-law, there would be Jack's wives and then wife's father. Jack's father-in-law's only daughter. Only daughter means we are back to the wife of Jack. So how is mother of Jack related to wife of Jack? Obviously, mother of Jack is mother-in-law. Mother-in-law of his wife. Option B. Okay, another question from verbal reasoning direction sense, and it's always feasible to draw arrow diagram whenever we are there to solve direction sense question. Ned walked 2 kilometers towards north. Let this is the starting point. Walk 2 kilometers in the north. Then she turned right and walked 3 kilometers. Right means your right, 3 kilometers. Then she again turned right and walked 3.5 kilometers. Now here right means moving towards the south. 2 kilometers, same line, and then 1.5. So this is 2 and this is 1.5, which makes it 3.5 kilometers. Then she turned left and walked 1.5 kilometers. Left means now towards West Bengal, that is east, 1.5. Finally, she turned left and walked another 1.5. Left now here means moving towards north. So this is the final position F. This is 1.5. How many kilometers away is she from the starting point? If we see, S and F are all in the same straight line. This is 3 and this is 1.5. So first part of the answer is 4.5 kilometers. And in which direction from the starting point is she standing now? From this starting point, she is standing now towards the West Bengal, that is east. So answer should be 4.5 kilometer and east, that is in option D. So we have a small caselet with us, part of abstract analytical reasoning. 7 people, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7 people would reside on 6 different floors of a building. Floors of a building would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If all the floors are occupied, obviously, and there are 7 people to reside, 2 people must be residing together. That's quite obvious. A should be on the floor immediately below B. That means we should have something like this. And above E. That means A should be residing above E and just below B. F should be on the 5th floor. Let's put F on the 5th floor. And have 3 floors in between him and himself and C. 3 floor gap is only possible here. That means C is residing at 1st floor. Now B and A should reside together and E should be below A, that only possible in these 3 floors or these 3 floors also. Let's see. G should share a floor and have only 1 floor between himself and A. So if G is at 6th floor, then A should be at 4th floor, then B should be sharing floor with F, but it is given that G is the one who should share a floor. Then quite obviously G should be here with F, then B here, A here. Then we can see that there is 1 floor difference between A and G, and E is at the 2nd floor. The person below E stay alone. Okay, E is staying alone. Then we have A, B, C, D left. A should be on the floor immediately below B, that is correct, and above E is correct. F is on the 5th floor is correct. There is 3 floor between F and C is correct. G should share a floor. He is sharing the floor with F and have only 1 floor between him and A, that is also correct. The person below E stays alone. Fair enough. Who occupies the 6th floor of the building? Mr. D occupies the 6th floor of the building, and that is in option C. What will be the minimum value of 2x plus 5 by 2x square plus 6x plus 7 when x is real? There can be quite a lot process to solve these kind of question. Let's discuss 1 or 2 process. The first one is by using quadratic equation and finding the range. Let y equals 2x plus 5 upon 2x square plus 6x plus 7. That means 2x square y plus 6xy plus 7y minus 2x minus 5 is equals to 0. Now it becomes a quadratic equations in x. So we have 2y into x square plus, if I take common x, 6y minus 2 plus 7y minus 5 is equals to 0. Since x is real, the roots of this equation, the discriminant of this equation rather, should be greater than equals to 0. Here we can see that a is equals to 2y if we compare with ax square plus bx plus c, and b is equals to 6y minus 2. C is 7y minus 5. Then b square minus 4ac should be greater than equals to 0. That means b square should be greater than equals to 4ac. Here I can take 2 common and 4 will cancel out. So we will have 3y minus 1 whole square. That will be 9y square plus 1 minus 6y is greater than equals to 14y square minus 10y. Or again we will have a quadratic equation, 5y square minus 4y minus 1 will be less than equals to 0. Or 5y into y minus 1 plus 1 into y minus 1 less than equals to 0. Or we will have y minus 1 into 5y plus 1 is less than equals to 0. So y value we have got 1 and minus 1 by 5, and since it is less than equals to 0, y value should lie between minus 1 by 5 to 1. That means the minimum value of y would be minus 1 by 5 and maximum value of y would be 1. And we are actually looking out for minimum value of y. In this case, minimum value of y is minus 1 by 5, that is in option A. Now let's see that whether calculus would be helpful here or not. Dy by dx would be 2 into 2x square plus 6x plus 7 minus 2x plus 5 into 4x plus 6 divided by denominator whole square. And in order to find the maximum minima of the given function, first order differentiation should be 0. That means numerator should be 0. 4x square plus 12x plus 14 minus 8x square minus 12x minus 20x minus 30 equals to 0. 12x here gone, minus 4x square minus 20x, then it would be minus 16 equals 0. If I divide by minus 4, x square plus 5x plus 4 is 0. So we will have x plus 4 into x plus 1 is equals to 0. Yes. So x would be minus 1 or minus 4. Let use all both the values and see at which value this value is low. So y value when x is minus 1 would be 3 upon 2 minus 6 plus 7, that is 3 upon 3, that will be 1, that is positive. And if I put x equals to minus 4, it would be minus 8 plus 5, that is minus 3 upon 16 into 2 is 32 minus 24 plus 7, that would be minus 3 by 8 plus 7 is 15, and that is again minus 1 by 5. So at x equals to minus 4, this function will give the minimum value, that is minus 1 by 5, and minus 1 by 5 is the answer. What will be the range of values of A for which the expression 5ax minus x square minus 4a square minus 9 is always negative for all real values of x? This is always negative, that means this is less than 0. Or let me multiply this by minus 1, we will have x square minus 5ax plus 4a square plus 9 greater than 0. Now since values of x are real, the roots of this equation should be real, and that means discriminant should be greater than 0. Here if I compare this with ax square plus bx plus c, then a is equals to 1, b is equals to minus 5a, and c is equals to 4a square plus 9, and we know that b square should be greater than 4ac. B square minus 5a whole square, that is 25a square, should be greater than 4, a is 1, c is 4a square plus 9. That means 25a square is greater than 16a square plus 36. 25 minus 16 is 9. 9a square is greater than 36. A square is greater than 4. That means a square minus 4 is greater than 0, or a plus 2 into a minus 2 is greater than 0. We have two values of a, minus 2 and 2, and since it is greater than 0, the value of a should lie in this range. That means value of a should lie between minus infinity to minus 2 and 2 to infinity, that is in option D. A small caselet again, one more. I said that in this examination, two caselets were given. A sculpture exhibition is organized for 6 days in a city, starting from Monday to Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 5 different artists A, B, C, D, E will exhibit their art on a particular day. One of these days shall be a rest day. Only one artist can exhibit his or her work on a particular day. Okay, we have 6 days, one on each, and one is the rest day. The rest day is between the days when A and E exhibit their sculpture. That is A rest E. This should be the format, or E rest A. So this information we have. C put up its work before D. That means C should be before D. D should be down under C, wherever it be. A gap of 2 days exists between C and E. So it can be C 2 day E or E 2 day C. Quite possible. This is a 4-day sequence. E sets up the exhibition before C. E sets up before C. That means C is setting up before E is not there. This fits in. E 2 days, and C. B does not set up her exhibit on Saturday. B has not set up on Saturday. Now, if we combine these two observations, E, gap of 2 days, and then C, and D should be below. D should be below C. So E, 2 days, C, and then we should have D. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5-day sequence. And if I put this 5-day sequence from Monday, then B should not be there at the Saturday. We can put this 5-day sequence from Monday. E, 2 days, and then C, D. B is not doing on Saturday. Then one more thing is there. A and E should have a gap of 1 day. If I start putting E here, then A should be on Wednesday. And if A will be on Wednesday, Tuesday would be the rest day, and B will automatically move on to Saturday, which is not feasible. That means a setup of E, 2 days gap, and CD cannot start from Monday. Let us start this from Tuesday. E, 2 days gap, then is C, D. And after E is rest day, and then we have A. After E is rest day, and then we have A here. This is the rest day, and B will automatically go to Monday. This sequence fits in. Now the question, which artist's work is exhibited or organized on Thursday? Thursday, we have A. Option A is the correct answer. Okay, two pie charts are given. Question from topic data interpretation, pie charts. ABC Limited produces 5 products A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, it's shown here. These products are sold at the exclusive stores P, Q, R, S, and T. These are shown in this particular pie chart. In January, a total of 10,000 products were manufactured. Okay, so this is 10,000 products manufactured. All the product manufactured in January were sold. Great. If shop T would be like what? 19%. Only sold the product C and D in the ratio 3:2. Then how many units of D were not sold at shop T? Units of D we require. First let's see that how many units of D are produced. This is orange mark and which shows 30%. That means D actual production is 30% of 10,000, that is 3,000. Total units of D produced are 3,000 and those are sold. Now what is happening at store T? At store T have sold 19% of the total product produced. That means 19% of 10,000. T have sold 1,900 units. Now these units are only of C and D in the ratio 3:2. So units of D sold by T is 2/5 of 1900. That is equals to 380 into 2, 760. So D alone have sold 760 units of, sorry, T alone have sold 760 units of product D. Then how many units of D were not sold at shop T? Are 3000 minus 760, that is 2240, and yes, that is in option D. Okay, the last question asked in this particular drive, and the last question for our session, is also from data interpretation. As said, two questions were asked from data interpretation. This is tabular representation. We need to extract data from this table and answer. What is the cost of steel products purchased by company B from JJX Corporation? First table says these are units of product purchased by different companies. So we are interested in company B only. Company B have purchased from P 800 units of steel, from Q 900 units, from R, or from R means R products 700 units, type S are 1000 units, and type T is 1300 units. These all are types of steel, PQRST. And now second table gives us price of unit product per unit. This is steel. Rate is 8, 14, 18, 19 and 25 per unit. Make sure to have properly taken up steel from the first columns of this table and the value of steel from the second column of this table. Now it's just the mathematics now. 8 into 8, 6400, 19 into 4, 12600, 18, 7 is 12600. This would be 19,000, and 25, 250 and 75 will give 32, 32500. We just need to add up this. 32,500, 19,000, 12,600, 12,600 and 6,400 should give 83,100. Yes, the cost of the steel product purchased by company B are 83,100. That is in option D.